Okay, last time I stopped at problem number 12. And of course, I said do it on your own. Of course, we are hoping you're doing these things on your own. I didn't go over the stage though, and I'll do that now. It says, again, I'm reading problem number 12. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the whiteboard, but I will read it to you. But the notes should be in front of you. It isn't like these things disappear because I'm not showing it to you. They should be in your possession. So I'm going to do another screen share with you. And I'm going to share a whiteboard with you. Oops, let me erase that. That was my finger. My pencil might be dead. 1 second. See if it's dead. All right, let me take a look. So problem number 12, and we're in the homework. All right, this is where we stopped last time. So it says find the distance between 2 points A and B. A survey choose point C. So let me just put this one down. I'm gonna put A and B down. It says a survey chooses a point C that's 420 yards from A and 540 yards from B. So, I'm not going to say this is the most accurate picture, but I'm going to say picks a point C over here. All right. That's 420 yards from A. These are yards. And 540 yards from B. It says the angle ACB, the angle ACB is 6310. I'll write that down for you. All right, where they want to know, approximate the distance between A and B, and I'm going to call that side C. All right, so let me write this down for you. And I'm going to use the law of cosines, right? So what do I get? I get C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of the angle C. All right, so C squared, this is A, this is B, is going to be equal to, let's see, A squared is going to be 540 squared plus B squared. What's B squared? Well, 420 squared minus 2 times 540 times 420 times a cosine of 6310. Oops. All right. Now, certainly if I was doing this on a calculator, which I recommend you do, I would certainly want to do the computation. And the computation I want to do is a square root. All right. Calculator it typically looks like this with the parentheses, and you write the arguments down. And this would look like 540 squared plus 420 squared minus 2, 540. You can use the multiplication symbol if you want. 420 times cosine. And let me write this one down for you. And let me erase that little doohickey over here. So what do I got over there? 63 plus 10 divided by 60. All right. I'm going to get my calculator out now, and I'm going to type it in. All right. So what do I get? Make sure I'm in degree mode first, for example. So I'm going to get square root. I'll do that first. Whoops, I got to put the parentheses over there. So let's take a look. Square root. Oops. Square root of 540 squared plus 420 squared. And again, I am touching a calculator. Minus 2 times 540 times 420. It's always possible to type incorrectly. And that's why we have an answer key for you. And then times the cosine, and it's 63 plus 10 divided by 60. hit enter. And I want to tell you when I do my calculator, it actually gives me a really crazy looking answer. And I want to tell you the number one reason why is I really don't want an exact answer. I want an approximate answer. So what I'm going to recommend is somewhere in the problem, put a decimal down. That's all you have to do. For example, you could put the decimal in the 540 if you want, 540.0 if you like. So I'm going to do that. And I get this number over here, 513.075, yada, yada, yada. What I'm kind of concerned about is what's the level of accuracy in this one over here. They say round it to the nearest yard. So it'll be 513 yards. All right. Let me go to my answer key. As I'm looking at my answer key, I want to make sure you're looking at the 513. All right. We're using a handout calculator. I'm going to switch now back to another screen share, and I'm going to talk about Sage. All right. So let me go back to another screen share with you. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so we're going to talk about the related Sage code now. And I realize for a lot of students, we're looking at this and saying, well, I really can't comprehend what you're talking about with Sage, or why do I need to learn it? You need to learn coding. All right, if you're thinking about moving forward into a STEM-related career, you're going to have to start coding. And I want to go through the code with you. I'm going to go to my terminal. You can use CodeCalc if you prefer. It's really the same thing. All right, terminal's easier for me though, because I can see through it, and I'm going to start typing things in. I notice I got reset down twice. No, that's not, you don't need to do that. It was a mistake on my end for typing it twice. And I'm going to start to type things in now, and you'll learn by typing. And what does it say? B is, this is an assignment operator, 41.8. Now, I look back in the notes. I want to point out, did I see anything with 41.8 in it? And I'm going to make sure you understand that I think we've seen this before. And it looks like it's this problem over here, number 9. All right. Now, this is in degree mode. Yeah, certainly you can make Sage deal with degrees, but I would much rather go to the radian mode. All right. So I put this down. Pi times pi, we're converting it, and we're going to approximate pi. And that's going to be, again, Python's just like dot notation, and then we're going to divide by 180. All right, whoops, not 190, 180, right? So let me just type down B now and see what it gives me back. It gives me back a decimal number, and that's the radian measure. I'm going to write A down now. A is being assigned. What's being assigned? 16.4. All right, I want to go back in the notes to make sure you know that we've done this problem already. All right, I'm just scrolling back. So that's this one over here. And then C, I'll write this one over here. I'll go back to my Sage code later, is 11.4. All right, hit return. Okay, let me go back to my Sage code. So I'm just simply dividing things, what was given to me. And right now I'm going to use the law of cosines. And we're going to assign B. Again, we did this in the notes. Square root. I should say we did it at the whiteboard. A squared plus C squared. This should look very familiar to you now. Minus 2. You absolutely must use the star. A star C cosine. And again, Sage is in radian mode. All right. It should be, by the way. Degrees are really kind of nonsensical to machines. All right, let me put B down. And we get this for B. Let me go back to the problem. And again, it's the one we just did, right? So let's go back over here. And I want to point out, if you're looking at, boy, I think I made a mistake somewhere. And I got to look at it, which is good. Did I put down B, 41.8? Pi, yep. Did I put down 16.4, 11.4? Square root A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. And then B, that's a weird one. Let me take a look again. What did I do differently? 41.8. 16.4, 11.4. A squared plus 3 minus 2. Oh, I see it now. I see my mistake, and I'm so glad I made a mistake. The mistake is over here, all right? So I'm going to just go through that again with you, and that was 2AC. This is going to happen to you. You're going to make mistakes. It's important you start to recognize your mistakes, though. All right, put B down and see what it gives me. Let me go back to my K. You'll learn by working with the key as well. Whoops. What's P? B is 10.96. All right, let's keep going. All right, we corrected our error. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to define another variable here. I'm going to define the variable C. Now, if you recall, we did this problem over here. We did use the law of cosines, and then we went to the law of sines. Okay, so I'm going to say C is a variable. I'm just looking at my code. All right. All right. Now what am I doing? I'm assigning the variable S something. And what is it? It's a solution to an equation. And this is the law of sines. So sine of C, divide by C. Now, do we know what C is? Of course we do. It's 11.4. Remember, the double equal sign in Sage means it's an equation. Sine B divide by side B, comma C. Right, we've done this before with equations. All right, so if I just type the letter S in now, I want to emphasize that it does display something. And what does it display? It displays this square bracket notation, and it's got really one entry in it. All right, now what's the entry it has in it? Really an exact solution to a problem. It says C is equal to something. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to, evaluate or approximate the right-hand side of that. So I want to explain the notation you're seeing those S square bracket 0. Now, the way that Sage deals with this listing, it basically says that the entry here is only one entry over here, but it always starts counting at the number 0. All right, so in this listing, this is what S square bracket 0 is. I'm going to display that for you and show you there's a difference between S and S square bracket 0. Right? I hope you recognize the difference. What's the difference? Well, the first one had that listing notation on it, the square brackets. There's one element in it. The second notation just says, what's that 0th entry, which is the first entry in this thing. Now, let me type this thing in. It's S0 dot, suppose I wonder what this is, RHS, right-hand side. I want to point out what the right-hand side of F0 is. It's this thing here. That's the right-hand side. Now, what do I want to do with the right-hand side? I want to approximate it. And what's our notation over there? It's a dot notation. So dot N, and we're going to approximate now. Whoops, I made a mistake. Let's see what I did. Oh, I made 2 mistakes today. How did I make 2 mistakes? Now I see. I'm sorry. I'm not even listening to myself. It's a function, right-hand side. Okay, I got that. Now, what's the problem with that? If I went back to my key, I wouldn't see that number over there. Why is that? We were speaking in degrees. So what I'm going to do is take that and convert it now to degrees. How do you do that? Times 180, divide by, and again, I want to point out the code, you're looking at it, by pi. Whoops. I'm going to pull it up a little bit. And we're going to approximate pi. Okay. I want to go back to the notes. Someone says, I wonder what this is. Well, this is going to be a problem that you have to go back and look at your notes. And we're looking for, this is going to be what C is. All right, let's go back over here. There's a problem over here. And what's C? 43.88. That's rounded off, by the way. Now, if you want to get A, what you're going to do, and let me write this down for you. It's going to be 180 minus 43.88. Now, I hope you can remember. If you can't, though, you go back and look at the notes. Minus 41.8. Whoops. All right. No screwing up there, huh? 41.8. Right, what do you get? 94.32 as they're indicating over here. Okay, that's about it. Again, what you're doing over here is you're looking at the Sage code and trying to make sense out of it. The more tidbits you get, though, the better it's going to get for you. However, I want to point this out. You're not going to remember everything that's been stated. This is why it's so important. You start to look at that Sage website and start to study the material if you're thinking about moving forward in a STEM-related career. All right, thank you.